Millennial Man Motions Entertainment. LLC. It is May of 2023, and it is with a heavy heart, much sadness, lost hope, and an unknown career path and personal path. And with an unknown career path and personal path, that I move forward, trying to make my way in this very wild and crazy world. I recently received a disconcerting electronic mail from Spotify. Before I say what the email is about, I just want to thank Spotify for giving me the opportunity to be an internet radio show host in the 21st century and to impact people's lives from all over the globe. Long story short, in the email from Spotify, the new rules and terms of Spotify state, long story short, in the email, the new terms and service that are required for Spotify state that there needs to be a minimum now of 100 listeners.
And now it's 1,000.
Availability for ambassador ad sponsorships to continue. It used to be that only 50 listeners were needed.
And now the 50.
To have the ambassador ad
And now the 50,
sponsorships.
and now the 50, and now the 100 is 1,000. 1,000? Are you crazy? Over 1,000? 1,000.
At some point
50,
during my journey.
50 to 100. 50 to 100, 100 to 1,000, 1,000, 1,000. 50, 50, 100, fine. 50, 50, okay, 50, fine. 100, okay. Now, 1,000.
And doesn't have much room at all for any possible growth.
No growth.
Just making sure I got everything on my notes here on the first page here before I move to page 100 listeners to have availability for ambassador ad sponsorships to continue. It used to be that only 50 listeners were needed to have the ambassador ad sponsorships. And I had received 50 listeners at some point during my journey. But with their raise up to 100 listeners,
1,000. They said 1,000 now.
This cannot be sustainable and doesn't have much room at all for any possible growth. I'm just making sure I got everything on my notes here on the first page here before I move to page 2.
5 pages, I think. 5 pages.
All right. That is everything on page 1. So now at the top of page 2. But with the raise of up to 100 listeners, my business cannot be
1,000
and doesn't have much room for growth.
Jeez. No growth.
I believe that everything in life, should be authentic.
Authentic.
I believe that everything in life should be authentic. And genuine. And for things to be natural. For things to be natural and should be also, or at all times, should be organic, as organic as possible.
Organic.
I tried sharing my podcasts on Facebook groups, and video page descriptions in video page descriptions inside of videos I make, that I've created videos, inside the descriptions of video pages. But for whatever reason, I never reached the 100 or more active listeners. At least not on my own merits, and not without anything being forced, or pushed. For whatever reasons, multiple people chose not to share my podcasts with many more people, or else maybe I would have had over 100 listeners.
It's over 1,000 rather. Over 1,000 now. Come on.
I want to sincerely thank, I would like to sincerely thank each and every audience listener from all over, I want to sincerely thank each and every audience listener from all over the over 50 different countries that have listened to my podcasts over the past 4 years. Even if the analytics show that a lot of the countries were shown as less than 1%, in all the majority of countries where it said less than 1%, I want to tell you that each and every one of you peoples, my human beings, from all these over 50 countries, were a lot where it said less than 1%. You count, you matter, and I thank you so much for listening to any episode that you chose to listen to
thank you.
over the past
Thank
4
you, guys.
years.
Thanks, guys. Gentlemen, thank you.
Even though I always had quite a small audience, even though I've always had quite a small audience for the podcasts, I appreciate and am thankful. All right, let me start this over. Even though I always had quite a small audience for the podcasts, I appreciate and am thankful for whomever the select few people in this world. Even though I always had a small audience for podcasts, I appreciate and am thankful for whomever the select few people in this world for whomever the select few people in this world discovered my audio-only podcasts and gained any insight and value from any of the particular podcast episodes that I have created and produced and made over the past 4 years. That being, for sure, really starting the podcasts in February, that's right, February of 2019, 4 years, February, for over the past 4 years, starting in the month of February 2019 through now, May 2023. Podcasting has given me much direction. Podcasting has given me much direction and enjoyment and a purpose for at least a short time. The short 4 years that have passed by now, so ever so quickly. Even though I always had quite a small audience for the podcast, I appreciate and am thankful for whomever the select few people in this world discovered my audio-only podcasts and gained any insight and value from any of the particular podcast episodes that I had created, produced, made over the past 4 years, February 2019 to May 2023. Podcasting has given me much direction and enjoyment and a purpose for at least this very short amount of time. But as I said in one episode, time is an abstract concept.
Time is an abstract concept.
I want to sincerely thank all of my various co-hosts, and all of my various guests for helping me deliver quality content to people all over the world. I don't want to forget anybody, so I can't name the co-host by name or the co-host by name or the guest by name. But yes, I want to very much sincerely. I would like to thank now all of my various co-hosts and various guests for helping me deliver quality content to people all over the world and globe, and also because it's always much more fun. It's always more fun to have discussions together than for my individual solo episodes that had no one else in them but myself. I want to thank again all of my various co-hosts and all of my various guests, you know who you all are, for helping me deliver quality content to people all over the world and globe. This very small world. If anybody told you it's a big world, they lied. It's a very small world.
A very small world.
See the episode about 6 degrees of separation to see exactly what I mean about that.
6 degrees of separation or less.
I would like to thank all of my various co-hosts and guests for helping me deliver quality content to people all over the world, and also because it's always more fun. And also because it's always more fun to have discussions together about whatever it is. Movies are not about movies, whatever the discussions were about. Then for my own individual solo episodes that only had me, myself, and I in them. I have done page 2 of notes, and we are now at page 3. So here we go. I never originally planned to have a final podcast episode. I never originally planned to have a final podcast episode. I had more movie-related episodes planned for the months of May, June, and July, and more songs to come out, including song duets. Yes, that's right, including song duets with females, with women. With women, females. Yeah, that's what they're called. Let's not have all these rules about how we can call names. I never originally planned to have a final podcast episode. I had more movie-related episodes planned for May, June, and July, and more songs to come out, including song duets with females/women. However they're called these days in these politically correct, nonsense, wokish times. Oh, don't get me started on all that. But you choose whatever you want to call them, how they're titled. Yeah, fill in how you want to call that. Sadly, the female song duets never fully existed or realized for people to hear. Sadly, the female song duets never got existed or realized for people to hear. One of the greatest sins in the world, an early January 2022 episode, one of the greatest sins in this world is, in addition to throwing away many edible fries and sitting on your ass, one of the greatest sins in this world, in addition to throwing away many edible fries and sitting on your ass, is that the television show Married with Children, 1987 to 1997, love and marriage, go together like a horse and carriage.
This, I tell ya, brother, you can't have one. You can't have one
without the other. Sidetracked on that little improv song, but I do have selected songs at the very end for you. One of the greatest sins in the world, in addition to throwing away many edible fries and sitting on your ass, is that the television show Married with Children, 1987 to 1997, never got a proper series finale send-off episode. Married with Children got canceled prematurely. Not to be confused with 21st century cancel culture. Again, cancel culture. Don't get me started. One old television show that I will always highly recommend is The Wonder Years, which ran from 1988 to 1993 on ABC.
Fake news.
On what? On ABC.
Fake news.
I really do think you will get. I really do think that you, all of you, will get a lot out of The Wonder Years, the classic original, not to be confused with the terrible 21st century remake. After watching all 115 episodes of The Wonder Years, after you've watched all 115 episodes of The Wonder Years, you can then thank me later on for how much you really got out of and liked the complete full set of 115 episodes. I have the DVD box set from the cast and crew with over 24 hours of bonus features. One of the best, in my opinion, one of the best TV shows ever made is The Wonder Years, whereas Married with Children is funny, a lot of episodes, politically incorrect in a neat kind of, hey, you can't make that kind of episode now in the 21st century. It was the late 20th century was a different time. But yeah, Married with Children is nonsense, but Wonder Years, I say so much, can't say how much praise I can give The Wonder Years, and what would you do if I sang out of tune? Would you stand up and walk out on me? Lend me your ears and I'll sing you a song. I will try not to sing out of key. So after you've watched all 115 episodes of The Wonder Years, you can thank me later. Now, excuse me. Now some people may be asking, just some. Now some people may be asking, what will I be doing with myself? Now some people may be asking, what will I be doing now that I won't be working on the Spotify audio-only podcast anymore? That is a question that I have an answer for. And it's like this. Now, some people may be asking, what will I be doing now that I won't be working on any Spotify audio-only podcasts further anymore? Well, primarily, number one, I'm going to be going back to writing/being a writer. But I am no longer in the writing group I was in. I am now an independent agent and lone wolf who will write but not be a part of the writing group I used to be a part of. So primarily, number one, I'm going to be going back to writing/being a writer. You see, here it goes. Writing, yes it is. Writing is the only thing in life. Writing is the only thing in life that gives me any peace of mind. Writing is the only thing in life that gives me any peace of mind, whether or not it earns any money. Though if it ever did make money one day, though if any of my writings ever did make money one day, that would just be an added bonus. But yes, writing is the only thing in my life that gives me any peace of mind, whether or not it earns any money. Secondly, number two, you look so healthy and youthful. Number two, you look so healthy and youthful. And Frau, you look so right. And that's one of my very first episodes back in early 2019 with the Austin Powers 2, The Spy Who Shagged Me 20th anniversary retrospective. Very pleased and proud of that episode. I'm pleased with the majority of most of the episodes I put out. There were a few clunks, down low ones that could have been much better than they were. But I would have to say that over the 700 episodes that I've done for the past 4 years, I would say that I think... Well, I don't have an exact number for it, but I would say somewhere between 85 to 95%, maybe a little bit more, somewhere in the middle there, but some way. I am pleased with how the majority of most of my episodes, both talkies and songs, have come out over the 4 years. There's a few ones that could have been better or not really been made, but for the most part, I like the majority of my content and work. But after writing being primarily number one, secondly, I will occasionally be uploading videos to my Rumble video page. That's right. Secondly, I will occasionally be uploading videos to my Rumble video page. However, similar to Spotify, neither Spotify or Rumble has ever made me any substantial amount of money earned. However, neither Spotify nor Rumble has ever made me any substantial amount of money earned for me to even stress or worry about any of this. All right, so that was the top of page 4. I said everything I wanted to say with page 3 of notes. However, similar to Spotify, neither Spotify nor Rumble has ever made any substantial amount of money earned for me to even stress or worry about any of this, really. As always, if anybody likes any of my content, whether that be my podcasts, my videos, or my writings, as always, if anybody likes any of my content, whether that be any of my podcasts, videos, whether they be any of my podcasts, videos, or Rumbles, any number of those 3, you can show your appreciation by sending a donation to my PayPal. You can show your appreciation for my content and work, whether they be podcasts, videos, or writings, by sending me a donation to my PayPal, link in all the description boxes. Any possible writings of mine going forward now, any possible writings of mine will be published on my Facebook business page, on Facebook, since I still can't find any publishers or ways to publish it outside of my Facebook business page. I will be keeping the Anchor, Spotify, Anchor, Spotify, however you want to call it. I will be keeping the Anchor, Spotify podcasting channel page up online, so that it will be up way after I'm gone. But this here is the last episode. I will be keeping the Anchor, Spotify podcasting channel page up online for anybody to listen. But this here is the last episode that will ever be recorded. Videos, my video hobby, like I said, yes. Secondly, I will occasionally be uploading videos to my Rumble video page. But but the videos will only ever be a side hobby. Videos will only ever be a side hobby if they don't earn worthwhile amounts of money. So I'll just throw out when I want to do videos. I can do videos on Rumble at any time, but as far as audio only Spotify podcasts, this is the end. This is the final the last podcast I'll ever do, unless Spotify, I understood unless Spotify made more sense on how people could grow and stuff, but
which it doesn't.
It's pretty much either staying on the same line or going down. Very much. I don't like things that don't go up and actually grow in this life, in this world of things. So videos will only ever be a side hobby if they don't earn any worthwhile amounts of money. So just for a hobby, I'll occasionally want to put up videos somewhere, like at least Rumble number 1. Podcasting, Spotify is done. Writing is my number one main priority. Writing is my number one priority. Writing is my number one main priority. Not that there isn't anywhere else for my podcasts to possibly go. And like I said, writing gives me a peace of mind, whether or not it ever earned any money. So that's what I like. Not having to be reliant on making money. The writing could just do at any time with a piece, no matter of money being in mind. And videos are just a side hobby. Writing being the number one main priority, now that there isn't anywhere possibly else for the podcast to go in any extensive, really great type of choose your adjective type future. One of my grandmothers, my mom's mom, one of my grandmother's, my mom's mom's expressions, one of my grandmother's, my mom's mom expressions were all beginnings are difficult. One of my grandmother's, my mom's mom's expressions were, all beginnings are difficult. All beginnings are difficult. And Seneca or semisonic, and either Seneca or semisonic or both said, every new beginning comes from some other beginning's end. Or how semisonic has it said, which is kind of like,
every new beginning comes from some other beginning's end.
And that is the end of page 4. And now, for the 5th and final page, let's roll it up. Let's keep it going here. Because I like to sing, and this is my final last episode, because I like to sing, and this is my final last episode ever for my podcasting channel, I will, for my podcasting channel platform as an internet radio show host for the past 4 years, February 2019 to May 2023, I will conclude and finish off my podcasting journey and internet radio show hosting of podcasting with my singing of 2 Hebrew songs, and 1 psalm. So here we go for the final last time. 2 Hebrew songs and 1 psalm of singing. Let's keep it going. Odivo Shalom Aleinu. Odivo Shalom Aleinu. Odivo Shalom Aleinu. Ve'al Kulam. Odivo Shalom Aleinu. Odivo Shalom Aleinu. Odivo Shalom Aleinu. Ve'al Kulam. Odivo Shalom Aleinu. Odivo Shalom Aleinu. Odivo Shalom Aleinu. Ve'al Kulam. Odivo Shalom Aleinu. Odivo Shalom Aleinu. Odivo Shalom Aleinu. Ve'al Kulam. Odivo Shalom Aleinu. Odivo Shalom Aleinu. Odivo Shalom Aleinu. Ve'al Kulam.
Salam Aleinu ve'al kol ha'olam. Salam, salam.
Odivo Shalom Aleinu.
Odivo Shalom Aleinu. Odivo Shalom Aleinu. Ve'al kulam. Salam Aleinu ve'al kol ha'olam. Salam, salam.
And now for the second Hebrew song.
Haolam Kulo. Gesher Tsar Miod. Gesher Tsar Miod. Gesher Tsar Miod. Kol Haolam Kulo. Gesher Tsar Miod. Gesher Tsar Miod. Gesher Tsar Miod. Kol Haolam Kulo. Haolam Kulo. Haolam Kulo. Gesher Tsar Miod. Gesher Tsar Miod. Gesher Tsar Miod. Haolam Kulo. Gesher Tsar Miod. Gesher Tsar Miod. 2, 3, 4. V'ha'ikar, v'ha'ikar, lo lefached, lo lefached kar, v'haolam kulo.
Gesher Tsar Miod, Gesher Tsar Miod, Gesher Tsar Miod. Haolam Kulo, Gesher Tsar Miod, Gesher Tsar Miod.
V'ha'ikar, v'ha'ikar, lo lefached, lo lefached kar,
Haolam Gesher V'ha'ikar,
v'ha'ikar, v'ha'ikar, v'ha'ikar. Haolam Kulo, Gesher Tsar Miod, Gesher Tsar Miod, Gesher Tsar Miod. Haolam Kulo, Gesher Tsar Miod, Gesher Tsar Miod. V'ha'ikar, v'ha'ikar, lo lefached, lo lefached kar. V'ha'ikar, v'ha'ikar, lo lefached kar.
The whole world is a
very narrow bridge.
The
whole world is a very narrow bridge.
The important thing is not to be afraid and to have no fear at all. The whole world is a very narrow bridge, but the important thing is to not be afraid and have no fear at all. And now, for my final song, my final last song to ever do on the podcasting channel. Journey, February 2019 to May 2023. On the journey of the podcasting channel, 4 years, over 700 episodes. The Psalm, one of my favorite Psalms, Psalm 121, Psalm Tehillim, Song 121, in the beautiful Hebrew language, of course. Hebrew is my favorite language. Did 2 episodes of that. Why Hebrew is my favorite language. So here we go.
Shir lema'alot esa einai el harim me'ayin yevo Ezri me'im Hashem oseh shamayim u'va'aretz al yitei lamot raglecha al yanum shomecha hine lo yanum v'lo yishan
Shomer Yisrael, Hashem Shimrecha, Hashem Sidlecha, Al Yad Yeminecha, Yomam
Hashemesh lo yichecha v'yorecha b'layla
Hashem Shimrecha Mikol Ra Yishmor et nafshecha Hashem Yishmor Tzedlecha Uvorecha Me'ata
v'yad olam.
Hashem Yishmor Tzedlecha Uvorecha Me'ata Vi'ad Olam.
Me'ata Vi'ad Olam. Me'ata Vi'ad Olam. Esa Einai El Harim. Me'ayin Yavo Ezri. Esa Einai El Harim. Me'ayin Yavo Ezri. Ezri. Me'im Hashem. Oseh Shemayim Va'aretz. Ezri. Me'im Hashem. Oseh Shemayim Va'aretz.
And in English, for the non-Jews, the Gentiles in the English, a song to the ascents. I raise my eyes to the mountains. Where once come my help? My help is from Hashem, maker of heaven and earth. He will not allow the faltering of your foot. Not slumber will your guardian. And if so, he will neither slumber nor sleep, the guardian of Israel. Hashem is your guardian. Hashem, at your protective shade, your right hand, by day. By your right hand by day, the sun will not harm you, nor the moon by night. The sun, by the way, is like an erect penis, and the moon is like a passive vagina. By the day, that was improvised, that added stuff right there. By the day, nor the sun will not harm you by the moon, by night. Hashem will protect you from every evil. He will guard your soul. Hashem will guard your departure and your arrival from this time until eternity. At least now for the Spotify audio only podcasts. At least now for this final last ever episode. At least for Spotify audio only podcasts, can still be sent in videos, but never for any more Spotify audio only podcasts. I only really have this concluding final type thing to say, which is, of course, everybody dance and have a good time. One final last time for the podcast of Spotify. Everybody dance and have a good time. Yes. This is Millennial Man Motions Entertainment LLC signing out. This is Millennial Man Motions Entertainment LLC. It is May of 2023, and this is the Mission Impossible.